I heard some shocking statistics recently about women and how much we use AI. And that is really the premise of this episode. Hi there, I'm Jamie. Welcome to Second Act Simplified. This show is for women in midlife who are ready to create their next chapter without chaos, guilt, or overwhelm. Here we're going to talk about simplifying life, staying grounded, and building a future for what's next. So I started out the episode talking about artificial intelligence. Before you're like, hey, that's not for me, or I'm tired of hearing about it, and I'm never going to use it, you already are. If you use Google Maps, or ask Alexa what weather's going to be today, you're already using AI. This episode isn't about the tech. I'm not going to give you the behind the scenes, how to build custom GPTs. This is really about, if you're not using it, why you should use it. It will help you get some more freedom, save time, and actually carve out some space to do other things. I really want to encourage women in midlife and beyond to start using AI because you'll be left behind. If you are in midlife, you were around when the internet came out. That sounds so old, but you were around when the internet came out, and you probably remember people saying there were two camps of people. The internet is dangerous. I don't need it. I'm never going to use it. And then there were people who searched madly for everything and anything. The internet was pretty new at that point, so you couldn't find things like you could today. But here's the truth about AI now. Men are adopting AI faster than women, and that gap is growing. In 2024, there was a study by the Bank of International Settlements, and they found that 50% of men were using generative AI in the past year, and only 37% of women were doing the same. In another study, Deloitte showed an even wider gap in the United States, that 20% of men versus 11% of women were using AI. And it's not just gender, it's also age. So 14% of people in their 40s, 6% of people in their 50s, and barely 1% 60 and over were using AI regularly. And again, you might have been using it and not realizing it, but intentionally using AI. And that's a problem because women in midlife are probably managing the most. They're balancing work, family, they might be caregiving, and then thinking about like, hey, what do I want to do next? I definitely want to encourage women not to be behind and not act like it's not there, because it's not going to go away. AI is really good at handling repetitive, organizational, and just helping with the mental load. Women aren't behind necessarily. We're busy. Being intentional about using AI can change everything. I'll share with you how I'm using AI. I use ChatGPT almost every day, and it's not doing my job for me. It's definitely not doing my job at work at all, but it does help me think faster in my blog and podcast business. Some of the ways that I use it are for ideation and brainstorming podcast topics and blog series. It helps me with outlines, helps me simplify titles or look at SEO, search engine optimization, and even other ways that people might be searching for this topic. It's helping me expand my creativity. It can help you plan. I make checklists, I outline my projects, and I have content calendars. I'm largely doing that, talking through what I'm thinking of and the timeline. As an example, yesterday I had in mind the last topics that I want to talk about through the end of the year, and I put those into ChatGPT, and I said, okay, today's October 18th, and how am I going to talk about these things through the end of December, so that I set up January for a pivot going into the new year. It broke out each week and how I would talk about those topics. Everything I have for the rest of the year is already planned out. It took me 10 minutes once I had my ideas in mind, and it just helped me put it into a schedule. Another way I use it is to summarize articles or compare resources. It just helps with, if you're trying to make a decision, pull the resources together so that you can just do a quick comparison. You don't have to be techie to do any of this. I would not say I'm a techie person. I've built some custom GPTs. If you've listened to some prior episodes, that also was not difficult. I don't know how to code. You don't need that type of experience. So use AI as a digital assistant. It's not here to replace you. It's just helping replace some of the friction that's in your life so that you can take some of those busy work pieces out and get focused really quickly. Like I said, I had built some custom GPTs. If you get stuck writing, sympathy cards are probably the hardest. If you get stuck writing cards for holiday, birthdays, thank you cards, I created a well-said card buddy. You can put in the topic, what you want to write, and it will help you expand upon that topic. topics so that you can write a well-rounded card. And then if you want gifts for other people, you can use our gift guru, and it tracks birthdays, holidays, and what gifts you want to give people. These tools don't make life robotic, they make it calmer. And they really help you get your details together a little bit faster. I've heard people say, think of AI like a calculator for your brain. Even I've heard stories like we just talked about using the internet in the early 90s when that came out. It doesn't make you lazy. And the calculator didn't replace math. Everybody's still taking math classes. It's just complementing what you're doing and making things a little bit faster. You still have to know where the data comes from. If you've never used any of the free versions of AI, here's a couple platforms that you can use and some ways that you can start using it just as a test. And I'd really love for somebody that's never done it to at least try it out. Some of the free versions you can use are ChatGPT. You do have to sign in, but there's a free version. It gives you a limit every day. Bing Copilot, Google Gemini. If you have a Canva subscription, you can use it there. Perplexity AI is also really good. It's really good for research. I would definitely check that out. If you have something that you want to do a little extra research, ChatGPT is pretty good at it, but Perplexity is supposed to be better. All right, so here's some examples of a challenge that I want you to do this week. The first prompt is for a life planner. Help me plan my week so I have 1 hour a day to focus on my next chapter. My top 3 priorities are, and then insert your priorities, and then follow up with, what is one way I can simplify my routine to create more time and energy for this goal? And then it will give you a plan, and it should feel more realistic and something that's reasonable to do. And you can keep prompting back. Like if you don't like the first iteration, tell it what you don't like and tell it what you would like to see different. It will do that. All right, the second prompt is a dinner helper. This is something I've done. I don't do it a lot, but I have done it. Like I'll have 3 random ingredients in my refrigerator left. We'll say chicken, asparagus, and then I know I have either rice or pasta, and I have some milk. I'll put in the ingredients that I have and the specific ingredients that I want to use up, and it will find you some recipes. It usually gives me, I don't know, like 2 or 3 recipes, but it's a great way if you're like, I'm tired of the same 3 meals, but I need to use up this food. What can I do different? It will help you with that. I'm not saying these are like Bon Appetit style meals. These are just easy recipes to help you out. If you're looking for a specific recipe, still look up a good recipe. I don't know that I'd equate ChatGPT to great recipes, but it will give you a legit recipe. Here's what I'd like you to take away today. You are already using AI. Unless you have never picked up a phone or a computer, you're using AI. Every Google search, every suggested phrase that comes up when you do a Google search, that's AI. Now, I'd like you to use it intentionally to help you out. If you want to visit this, if you want to look into this further, visit ourdailylifestyles.com and check out the complete celebration and lifestyle tools bundle. It'll be in the show notes, and that helps you plan any event, season, holiday, to protect your time. And then if you're looking for a midlife pivot, I have the Second Act Pathfinder. It's free. And it will walk you through your next chapter step by step. Next week, we're going to dive into intentional living and networking. Networking is really fun. It can be a little draining, but it is really fun. And so it's something I wanted to talk about especially if you're looking to try something new. Those will all be in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm looking forward to hearing about how you tested out AI. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review if you're listening on the podcast. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe as well. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.